instead, because you made my point, because there was a whole declaration that they made when they shifted and said it's more about public servants now. Do you remember that? They had like a whole like banner and all kinds of shit. It could have been when they got their LLC, but they pretty much said it's public servants now. Miss Thanks.
A while ago, I had saw somebody raise a question in the comments I thought was a good question. They said, didn't I make fun of somebody's appearance personally? Like, yeah, I did. That's what we do in my sector. It's a roasting sector, right?
Right.
I don't have a problem with the AFWs making fun of people's appearances. My thing is, we make fun of appearance, they make fun of appearance, but then they call our jobs and try to get us fired when we get the better of them. Like, that's the difference. There's no reason these people should be watching our content if they don't like it. We're not hurting anybody. They just really are on some black people respectability politics shit. And if you don't align to their view of how a black person should behave, they want to destroy your life. But the crazy part is they're worse. The shit they say about, like, for example, I never put Anti-Afro, her little minion Stargate now, when she was angry at her, she put a dildo on her face. Nobody in my sector has ever done that to any woman in my sector. That's never happened.
Anti-Afro Spengalis. I had to start out with this. Let's go back to the list. First off, let me address the comment about Stargate is a minion. That corresponds with the subject, Stank Booty Bigot, representing green with envy and rabid jealousy. Jealous that she doesn't have a friendship with Stargate. Rabid jealousy about how others interact with Stargate, just the same. She covets the stature that Stargate has. And in order to try to placate, Stank Booty Bigot, aka SBB, puts out Stargate wants so badly to be my friend and I keep rejecting her. Stargate's offering of olive branches and bridges is not unique to SBB. That was a cursory offer. SBB decided not to accept it, so DC Stargate running over to SBB's page, trying to get up under SBB and beg her and run after her and constantly speak about SBB unprovoked? The answer is no. Not going to mention SBB until SBB starts lying. And let's reassert the First Amendment. Stargate and anyone else can say what the hell they want, but SBB feels First Amendment rights are exclusive onto SBB. False. Any and everybody can speak on whatever they want. Those who have the thinnest skin are the ones who don't like reciprocating First Amendment rights. Too bad. Now let's get to the characterization of the quote, dildo, unquote. I don't know anywhere on YouTube where they allow an actual penis or even a facsimile of a penis to be displayed. Had the characterization of Stank Booty Bigot been based on fact, YouTube would have taken the video down. It would have been removed. The video was not removed. Not by YouTube anyway. When me and Stargate built a bridge, I removed the videos. So, again, here we have this selective expectation. Those on the attack really believe that they convince their targets of attack that they don't have any rights, that they can do, the aggressors, the attackers can do whatever they want, remove any video they want, put any video up, say whatever they want. But when it comes to the targets of attack, they're trying to treat us like we're a plantation slave residents. And they are the slave masters. Black on black slavery, white on black slavery. That's exactly the disposition that's assumed. But in order for that to be successful, you need willing parties. You need those who are going to go along with it. I'm not going along with anything like that. No one's going to get up here and convince me that they have a right to speak and move about these YouTube streets, and I don't, that I'm restricted. I must do two things only: listen and obey slave plantation directives. Well, there's nothing wrong with wishful thinking. You just can't make wishful thinking become reality. It will never become a reality with respect to me listening and taking orders from enemies, wannabe slave masters. What you just heard a second ago, talking about getting the best of someone. They got to get that best of them, and they report us to our jobs. Think about that. The logic is just, I can't even qualify it as having any logic. It doesn't make any sense if the conduct that this fool or any other fool in these YouTube streets has engaged in could get to the point where law enforcement or any regulating body or the news is coming in on you. You already did yourself in. Who got the best of who, if you want to use that quotation? I don't even think that phrase is applicable. No one can make anyone do anything, especially to their own detriment. If subjects decide to do things to their own detriment, that artificial phrase, got the best of who? It would be us getting the best of them. Putting yourself in a position to be arrested, to destroy your career, or actually destroying a career. The conduct is so deplorable that it's covered by local media, print media, internet media. Peace officer standards of training procedures have to be taken under advisement. Someone is getting fired as a probation officer, and there are 2 rulings: termination of employment and revocation of a probation certification. Canceling of contracts, multiple contracts, site visits, FBI raids, having a spouse who is a convicted child abuser working in a mental health treatment office. These are the behaviors of those who targeted us. We don't have any of these behaviors. So the statement, getting the best of, is you did yourselves in through your own devices. Nobody can force you to do anything destructive, self-destructive. That is on you 100%, and it's something they failed to compel us to replicate. These other fools out here who know what's real, because you see all these other strategies cropping up out of frustration. We don't need to change our strategies. The strategies that we use work. We don't have to keep changing anything up. Now, there'll be some retooling of things. We don't have to have a drastic change in anything that we're doing. We're not on the wrong side of the law. We are the law-abiding people in this scenario. We haven't ruined our careers. None of that. No one has ever called from YouTube, look what AAS is doing, look what Rev G is doing, look at whoever is doing, who's not doing anything, and had a negative consequence. Never happened. Look what's going on. Careers have been destroyed. By whose hand? Nobody can destroy a career unless the conduct exists to effectuate the destruction. And the destruction is self-imposed. There is a purpose to mischaracterize things. Look on the list again. I see habitual liars. But here's the other thing. Go ahead and continue to say it. Repeat it as often as you like. It simply goes back to the green with envy and the rabid jealousy over my friendship with Stargate. That is the long and short of it. So let's move over to the comparison. We've never done anything like that to anybody in the Umar Johnson sector. Women have never done much worse. 1,000,000 times worse. Look what's happening right now. The devil in the details. And for the here and now, I'm going to switch over to this mini chart. This is the goal. Whenever Stank Booty Bigot starts waving around these accusations and making these statements and wild claims and bullshit that she knows good and damn well is a lie, here's what we're dealing with. This corresponds to the comparison that was made. The goal is to make the target, and I'll be specific in this instance, Stank Booty Bigot is trying to get me to feel shame, guilt, humiliation, embarrassment. And if I feel any of these, then it's going to bounce against anger and frustration. They bounce against each other. This is the goal. This is what she's looking for and has never achieved it. Never. So to compare herself and how she interacts with those other subjects, those other female subjects, it's 1,000,000 times worse. They actually call themselves friends. And what do? Constantly, without hesitation, putting each other's business in the street. When Stargate and me were going back and forth, so for this one particular time, Stargate is rendered mute and scared, cowering in a corner. All the other times, she won't stop talking. She's going a mile a minute. You can't ever get her to shut up. Oh, but for some reason, she was cowering in the corner when this incident occurred with me. They don't even know how to keep up their own consistency. Back and forth with someone who I wasn't friends with and had never been friends with. This is very different from what's happening now. They sit here and claim that they love each other. I love you, which is why we were all shocked. That's some phony bullshit. Never heard that before. This is a reason why others thought it was someone totally different. Lo and behold, Stank Booty Bigot reveals, or however it's revealed, it's the same subject with the same behavior that has been recycling over and over and over again. Get back to the rabid jealousy and the green with envy, a situation that has never occurred between me and Stargate. You're simply jealous and you're envious of my relationship with Stargate. So they try to denigrate her and label her a minion. I mean, you can label her a minion all day long. It's the same goal with Stargate. They want her to have all of these emotions. And let's be specific about anger and frustration. And even all these other emotions, feelings that appear here. This is all human nature. Everyone is going to experience what you see on the screen. What is most significant is how they're displayed and to what degree someone is going to do anything about them. We know there are people who literally kill, take a life or take lives based on experiencing what you see on the screen. There are those who destroy their lives. They destroy their own careers based on what you see on the screen. More specifically, how they react as a result. That is most significant. But with respect to Stank Booty Bigot and anything the Stank Booty Bigot has ever said about me, failure when it comes to shame, guilt, humiliation, and embarrassment never has made me feel any frustration, anger. That was very specific and very clear about what was going to happen with her false allegations against Gerald Palmer. The anger was channeled properly. It didn't cause me any harm. I didn't self-destruct because of it. I didn't put myself at risk as a result of it. However, it backfired and blew up in Stank Booty Bigot's face. She's the one who's come away with all this anger and continue to try to find a way to make false allegations appear true. TikTok scamming. TikTok account is still up. Guess who ended up with the shitty end of the stick? Stank Booty Bigot keeps complaining, keeps whining, angry, frustrated, cursing out black men because they won't do what she says. The anger was poorly channeled and it ended up being self-destructive in addition to destructive, counter to the goals that SBB set. None of the goals were achieved. And she got on the news. Let's not forget, got on the damn news. Ruined career, destroyed career, ran her out of the profession that she never should have been in the first place. Reputation, yeah, stank booty bigot lost a reputation. Yeah, this is a perfect example of ruining your reputation. Stank booty bigot ruined her reputation. She's on this rampage, wants everyone to feel every single emotion that she feels. Not only that, to react in the identical manner in which she reacts. The ultimate insult is for anyone to compare Stargate to stank booty bigot. Stargate gets her ducks in a row, lines them up, and mows them down with precision, with facts. She doesn't have to go and make up a story about somebody and their brother. She doesn't have to take a scenario and switch it around, knowing good and damn well the switcheroo is false, it's deceptive, and then tries to get a reaction out of the switcheroo. See, I'm giving a reaction to the switcheroo. I'm putting it in context. That stank booty bigot isn't getting anything she wants out of the situation and never will. Look at what's happening right now. They call themselves friends, immediately come out and spill the most intimate, personal, private business of the other. What can be more personal than somebody experiencing a mental health crisis? They call someone who they say is a friend. She wouldn't have called the egg donor if she didn't consider the egg donor a friend in a mental health crisis. It was a very poor decision. It was a decision that was made without any proper consideration and in total disregard of history, in total disregard of their own experiences together. Someone who is shown to be a backstabber, who will come out right away and spill beans whenever pissed. This is who stank booty bigot decided to trust when she had a mental health crisis. Didn't follow the doctor's safety plan. Every doctor has a safety plan with someone who's receiving treatment, or that doctor or therapist is derelict. There is a safety plan if you experience a crisis, or you think you might be experiencing a crisis, or you feel something coming on, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, there's a protocol. So SBB decided to step out of the protocol that the doctor has gone over and contacted someone who's a blabbermouth from A to Z. Instead of calling 911, instead of calling the doctor's answering service, instead of calling a crisis line, decided to call someone who is a known backstabber. Am I saying this is what you, quote, deserve? No, I'm not going to say it when it comes to a mental health crisis. You should have called 911. No one would have known about that. They can't even broadcast that. Well, they can broadcast it, but they're not going to give someone's name. Who would have known about it? No one would have known. Just because SBB is making poor decisions with respect to friends, wants to shit on everybody else's relationships. She can't shit on any relationship that I have that's important to me, because that's between me and that person. You can't do anything to my relationship with Stargate. Stargate's not going to stab me in the back. I'm not going to stab her in the back. We've had no issues. We've continued to build our friendship over the last 3 years. It is none of the concern of SBB, except for the fact she's green with envy and is rabid with jealousy. Poor decision making behind the scenes is, for the most part, beneficial, has been beneficial to me by and large. The vast majority of my experiences behind the scenes are positive. Just because you have others operating according to this chart here, and they decide to do something and bring my name into it, that's not on me. The overwhelming majority of my experiences have been positive. That's representative off YouTube. SBB can't put a spin on anything that involves me. Nothing's going to come of it. I won't get in trouble. I'm not going to lose a contract. Nothing will happen by putting a photo up that is covered. YouTube didn't take it down, but they're pissed. They're pissed because they don't have anything else that they can say. Oh, there are a couple other things that they say. They repeat it over and over and over again. Fine, repeat it. Makes no difference whatsoever. Nothing's going to come of it. It just shows the weakness. It just shows they have no strategy. They have no game except to mischaracterize things and lie. Neither approach gets them anything. They keep experiencing these emotions themselves and are angry and are frustrated that they can't get their targets to have the same experience. Of course, folks, you know I got more coming your way. In the meantime, buyer beware.